Welcome to Know. I'm Ashely Jenkins.
I'm Kerry, Shawcross.
Well, heads up, Marvel fans. Tons of news is hitting the tubes this week, giving us a kind of an interesting glimpse in the company's plans for the cinematic universe.
These potential leaks come courtesy of movie news site Joe Blow, who claims that their sources have confirmed recent rumors surrounding a number of Marvel's upcoming films.
Which means we've got word on maybe the official villain of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, as well as the inclusion of the beloved Planet Hulk storyline into Thor Ragnarok as, I don't want to say promised, but I want to say as hoped.
Plus, the site claims they also have confirmation that Guardians is going to be part of the eventual Infinity War movies, which we, basically all expected at this point. But Marvel and the Russo brothers have been completely dancing around saying it for a while now.
Yeah, but first, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2's villain. According to Joe Blow, the villain role has been given to Elizabeth Debicki, who will be playing Ayesha. You know who that is, right?
I have no idea who that is, actually.
Right. Well, I mean, if you have no idea who the character is, Debicki was also another villain recently in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. She was awesome. As for the character Ayesha, you may or may not be familiar with her because she's got about a billion other names in the comics.
Was she the man from U.N.C.L.E.?
No, she was in fact a woman. And it's a great movie.
Was she the woman from Ant? She's also known as Kismet Paragon and simply her. She's basically a perfectly all-powerful space goddess, so, that's cool.
Right, so what makes Ayesha, aka Kismet, aka her, aka Paragon, so interesting for this movie is how much she ties into Adam Warlock, who's got to be part of the eventual Infinity War storyline at some point. He can't not be, right? But more on that later.
Her was created by a group of crazy-ass scientists who call themselves Enclave. Their whole goal was to repopulate Earth with genetically perfect super people? That sounds not sketchy at all.
Right, well, all, as you can imagine, all goes well. Her was the second of these attempts following the escape of their first attempt. Him, also known as Adam Warlock, also very creatively named.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
A bunch of super smart scientists, nobody could think of better names than him and her.
So, there are a few possibilities for how this all ties into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. One storyline in an alternate timeline, Earth 691 comic books, everybody. God, there's so many Earths. Places Starhawk as the son of her, aka Kismet, aka Paragon, aka Ayesha.
I really want to go to just Earth 69. I think that'd be fun.
No, Kerry.
While nobody knows for sure, Starhawk is rumored to be Kurt Russell's character and also the identity of Star-Lord's father in the Guardians sequel.
Which was teased at the end of the first one. Yeah. So now Starhawk he's not really Star-Lord's dad in the comics. That honor belongs to Jason, Emperor of Spartax, obviously. But it would be a lot easier for them to condense some storylines here, and that would be one way to do it kind of cleanish.
And comic fans just love when you mess with that continuity, right?
Oh yeah, they do. They've also kind of set up that Jason isn't necessarily Chris Pratt's MCU dad due to that whole bit of him having super DNA or whatever it was that conveniently protected him from the Infinity Stone.
Anyways, back to the villain. In the comics, Ayesha isn't typically portrayed as a villain, but they could spin it in a way that since she's all-powerful, she could be very dangerous for anybody who gets in her way.
So maybe we're looking at a story here involving her on the hunt for something around the galaxy. As for what she could be searching for, there is another storyline in the comics where she traveled the cosmos for a suitable mate.
Earth 69. How that all relates to what's currently going on in the MCU, the mate she really wanted all along was Adam Warlock, who was the him part of that Enclave experiment, as we mentioned earlier.
That's really sweet.
They were made for each other.
They really were. They were
made for each other.
Adam Warlock, who possesses the Soul Gem, kind of important to Thanos' plans, becomes extremely crucial in the construction of the Infinity Gauntlet and a huge part of the ultimate battle against Thanos.
To set up the Infinity War films, Marvel's going to need to unleash Adam Warlock into the mix sooner or later, and bringing him into the fabric on Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is one way to do that. One
other thing the movie needs to do is start to tie the threads back to Earth, especially if the Guardians and the Avengers are going to be teaming up, as Joe Blow claims to confirm.
Bringing in the Enclave could be one way to do that, since the scientists were from Earth, operating out of places like Genosha, and occasionally working with dudes like Hydra.
Maybe that's they got Captain America on board, yeah?
Too soon. Anyways, in the MCU continuity, Hydra is a cult based around Hive, who lead the Inhumans in the distant past to fight off the Kree.
It's all really super complicated, but in the comics, well, it makes comic sense. Okay. In the comics, the Enclave were at war with the Inhumans, so this could also be another way to tie all this shit together, since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of dealt with this.
Some other exciting news included in these rumors, sleeks, whatever you want to call them from Joe Blow, revolve around the Hulk storyline in the new Thor movie, Ragnarok.
According to them, the film will definitely have the Planet Hulk element in it, operating as a kind of mashup with the Ragnarok story.
Planet Hulk, for you comic book uninitiated, is a 2006 story wherein the dickish Avengers jettison Hulk into space because he's too dangerous to be left on Earth.
That's kind of rude. Yeah. He ends up crashing on a planet, he fights a bunch of dudes in gladiatorial combat, takes the planet over by killing its king, as you do, and then leads an assault back to Earth to take out his revenge on the Avengers. Avengers, and who can blame him?
Yeah. Now, we probably won't be getting all of that in Ragnarok, but there are some ways to mix them together. Joblo states the plot of the movie is that Thor's mission in the film is that he needs to find the ultimate weapon to stop Ragnarok and reset the universe.
It could be that the only way to access this weapon is by participating in gladiator combat on a remote planet, leading Thor to recruit Hulk to his efforts.
Oh, yeah. Or it could be that Thor simply comes across Hulk on a search, freeing him and enlisting him in the hunt. Either way, sign us up for more Hulk.
These comics aren't realistic. The entire vacuum of space and he just comes across Hulk jettisoning across nothing forever. Come on, that's not realistic.
It's why they're special.
That's true. This comes on the heels of comments from Mark Ruffalo stating that Thor Ragnarok is basically going to be a galactic buddy road trip movie about Thor and Bruce Banner.
Which sounds amazing, and I can't wait to go see that. Yeah,
super excited.
That's what Thor needed. In all, it seems that Marvel's solid groundwork from the last 8 years of movie making is enabling them to finally crank the wheels and turn each of their films into much bigger events.
Although, part of that is out of necessity, considering Marvel technically only has the rights to use the character from Universal. If they created a standalone Hulk film, they'd have to fork over a ton of cash as per their agreement.
That's a nice way around the problem, which seems to work out better for everyone.
Group flicks are also the new solo flicks, and everybody else is rushing to play catch up. Even the X-Men films are going to start building in more crossovers, and we already know that DC's tried their hand at doing the same with varying degrees of success.
It's just all crossovers.
It's all crossovers. Everyone's crossing over. We got DC Marvel crossovers, Batman's best friend with Iron Man. It's fucking crazy.
We'll see how much of this news turns out to be true when these films finally hit theaters. Guardians 2 is due in theaters May 2017, with Ragnarok in November 2017.
That feels way too far away.
It does.
But for more news into 2017 and beyond, and all the comics and the everythings, make sure you like this video and subscribe to The Now. Nice exit.
I hope I'm still in frame a little bit.
We're still in frame. Yes.